recent trends in research in China. In this regard, the researchers made a comparative study. They took 4 journals from the Chinese linguistic groups and 4 journals from the West to see what are the research trends in applied linguistics in China. So the focus of this study was research methods. They wanted to look for the research methods that are in vogue in China. And obviously they observed the same in the West group. The top research journals from both groups were selected to know what are the trends. The data were categorized into classes like qualitative, quantitative, classroom interaction analysis, and non-empirical studies. So they were the main topics on which the researchers made their study. The findings were presented into decade-wise pools. So what was in the first decade and what was in the second decade. It was a 2-decade study. According to the findings, utter dominions with gradual decrease of non-empirical studies marked main trends in the field of applied linguistics in China. So the studies were more empirical than they were non-empirical, which has been the practice in the past. Besides, quantitative research method was adopted more than qualitative. So in applied linguistics, the method in use was quantitative than qualitative. On the other hand, in the West, qualitative and empirical research was more like than non-empirical quantitative research, while personal experiences and reviews were virtually absent. So, in comparison, the situation in West was the studies were more qualitative. In applied linguistics, the studies were more qualitative and obviously also empirical. And there was personal experience of the subjects was not there. The favorite topics of study for Chinese researchers included language policy. They were more concerned about the language policy in China. Language teaching, obviously language teaching, because China's economy was globalizing, so their concern was more on their language policy and obviously language teaching, especially adopting new methods to meet the challenges of the modern era. Correlation between national ideology and language teaching, how they correlate with each other, whether their language teaching conforms to their national ideology or not. That was important for them. Besides translation studies, significance of research in China, and theories of language. So these were the main topics. They were more about their language policies and their language teaching and their ideology that is being given by or being translated by their language teaching. So it was different from the European method of research. They were different from these because they had solved these problems more or less.